We are here at the Visit Glass Zone of Fit Show 2019, and we're visiting the Gobain booth. And here to give me a literal tour is Mike. Mike, thank you very much indeed for joining us. Tell me a bit about Gobain first of all.
Gobain's a global business. We manufacture glass throughout the world, flat glass, and we process and we distribute it throughout the whole of the UK and Ireland.
I was going to say who for, so flat glass obviously, but for residential, for business, commercial?
For residential and commercial and interiors as well. The stand here today is focusing on residential. We have a range of product here specifically for windows, doors and interiors for homes across the UK.
There's lots of great things that I've enjoyed over the last few minutes on this booth. Lots of very interesting things from the kind of glass fabrication process there, and seeing the different ingredients that go into it and how much recycled glass you use as well. That's 35%, I think, recycled?
Yeah, at least 35% of the glass that we make comes from cullet, so from old glass. Much of that comes from post-industrial sources, so these are offcuts that we recover from our customers who take our glass and process sealed units and other products. But increasingly we're recovering glass from post-consumer sources, so that means that we're recovering glass from old windows effectively. Often that material goes into landfill, which of course is not great sustainability, but glass is infinitely recyclable, and so whilst that's waste for other people, that's a resource to us, and it has lots of advantages in terms of the manufacturing process at our main float plant, which is in Eggborough, just east of Leeds. So we like to use as much recycled cullet as we can. I mean, our stand says it's 35%. Often it's a little bit more than that actually, which sets us apart from our closest competitors in terms of the ratio of cullet that we use.
And in terms of, I mean, infinitely recyclable, that's really interesting, but also in terms of the efficiency for recycling as well, because I know with various kind of circular economies, actually it can be very expensive to recycle products. What's the point with glass at the moment?
Yeah, well, that's a good point actually. The whole sustainability of the recycling activity that we have is based on the economic model of doing it. Yes. And so we've over years developed systems whereby we can efficiently recover the cullet from our customers. Yep. And we've got that working pretty well actually. The next challenge is to do that from post-consumer sources. So, many window installers and fabricators will be used to discarding that old glass material and having it removed, and often it gets reused in lower quality applications such as road aggregate, and it goes into bottles and things like that. Typically what it doesn't do is go back into the manufacture of new flat glass that you would then use in residential and commercial buildings. So that's one of the things that we're trying to change. And amongst the stand here, we're trying to talk about the benefits of the glass and the benefits of the product that we're manufacturing. Much of the story around the show is around window energy ratings, and everybody seems to talk about the same thing in terms of what the window does for you. A key component to a window is the performance of the glass. It's why the window's there in the first place. And so what we're trying to do is change the nature of the conversation when it comes to windows and glazing, and talk about the other benefits that people get from using sort of higher value, higher added value differentiated glass. So as an example of that, it's not just about window energy efficiency and energy efficiency. It can be noise control, security performance, UV protection to stop your curtains and your flooring from fading, and even solar control is becoming more and more important in residential buildings, because people are using bigger pieces of glass on their homes, which a few years ago people didn't do.
Really, really interesting stuff, and I know sustainability is something we do talk about here, but it's really good to have a little bit more of an in-depth chat about that, Mike. Like I say, lots of things to see and to talk about on your booth. Before we go, we stood in front of this really impressive installation just here. Tell me about what the story is behind this and what the story is you're trying to tell with it.
Okay, well the challenge with glass is that it's one of those products that you look through, you don't look at it. And often glass looks the same, albeit it can be a very different type of product from one to the next. And so people often find it difficult to have a conversation about the benefits of glass, and so what we're trying to do is give people simple tools to bring those benefits to life in a retail environment. So what this is doing, it's a piece of glass that we've turned into effectively a transparent TV screen. So in the middle of it, the vertical bit is a cross-section of a sealed unit, and on the left-hand side we're showing what might be happening outside the building, and on the right-hand side of the screen, it's the benefit that you are then getting. So in this particular case here, we're talking about furniture fade protection, which is what you get if you use one of our laminate products, which screens out most of the ultraviolet light coming through a window, which is a little known fact for laminate glass. Most people will not know that. So we're trying to educate people. And then it moves on to noise control. So again, in this context, we're not talking about acoustics because that's a bit scientific. We're turning the language into something that homeowners and retailers can understand in terms of why I should care about this particular product. So, we've got a van making noise outside the window there and people getting a good night's sleep on the right-hand side. So it's simple things like that to help people sell value when they're talking about windows and doors.
Understanding the practical benefits rather than talking about ease and use and whatever else.
Exactly. So we're not talking about DB ratings and all that kind of stuff, because in a retail environment, people don't understand really what that is. Is that big or that big, or what is it? But I can understand the fact that I'm going to get a better night's sleep, my kids will do better at school, and probably get a better job and leave home earlier. Who'd have thought glass could do that for you?
Speaking of tangible benefits, Mike, talk to me about the tangible benefits for you here at Gobain of investing in being here at Fit Show.
Yeah, I think it's. We're happy to support this show. I mean, I came to this show a couple of years ago, and I was struck by the fact that there weren't many businesses exhibiting and talking about glass. And which is crazy when you think about it. And so, as one of the few manufacturers of float glass in the UK, we wanted to come here and talk about why glass matters in the context of a show like this. Yes, window systems and hardware and all those other things are absolutely important, but at the end of the day, those are carriers to the glazing, and if you don't get that bit right, then you're not doing the overall job properly. So we wanted to come here and talk about why you should care about glass in the context of the Fit Show, and that's why we're exhibiting.
Of course, and being here in this visit glass zone at Fit Show, all of those different exhibitors have been brought together, and it's not, obviously not just glass manufacture like yourselves. We've got lots of glass lifting solutions, seminar theatre here as well. So yeah, like you say, Fit Show covers a number of different disciplines within the industry, but it's good to have a glass zone here. And we're very, very pleased that you're here talking so eloquently about glass as well. Listen, Mike, thank you very much indeed for your time. I wish you all the very best for the rest of the show.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for yours.